Hello, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Can anyone just message me in the comment and let me know if I'm audible? That would be a great help. Yeah. So we'll just start the session in a while. In the meantime, can you just comment and let me know if I'm audible? Okay. So I assume I'm audible. Okay. So this session is once again, Swarasya's session where we keep talking about beauty inside out, and finally we've come up with our 7-day beauty cleanse program, which is all about helping you understand how beauty happens from the inside out, how your entire body participates from the inside when it comes to your skin looking good, or you looking and feeling ageless for years to come. So this concept is a very deep rooted concept. It's not a picked up concept. It's something that I've lived and experienced, and have been practicing over years for almost a decade. And gradually I realized how important it is to work on the inside. It's like, the inner work is way more powerful than what we do on the outside. So I'll just try covering all these concepts where we try to understand what is beauty inside out, what do we actually mean by beauty, diet and lifestyle, because a lot of you have reverted back to us asking whether the program that we are conducting, is it a diet plan program or is it a yoga program, what exactly are we going to cover. So I'll just try explaining the concept, what this concept of beauty inside out is, how do we look at ourselves today, how are we supposed to look at ourselves, and how this program helps you. So starting with the basic introduction, let's just first try to understand what's happening in the beauty industry or the beauty scenario right now. Of course, starting from you as a person, let's just try to understand, when I come across a lot of women, like I don't think I can even pick up one woman who does not have any kind of skin, hair or body issue. Everybody is dealing with some either a skin issue or a hair issue or a body issue, or even the energy and vitality issues. So there is a very strong deep connect between all these concepts that we're talking about, which we actually miss on to when we look at our skin or hair or bloating, body weight from very modern perspective. So when it comes to skin, what we are majorly looking towards is maybe a superficial or a short-term solution, maybe some skin clinic which can help us improve upon our skin health, or maybe a salon treatment or a spa treatment, or worse still, if for the ones who are really experimental, would really go ahead and would look into getting some treatments done, maybe a Botox or some laser therapy, and all these modern day available kind of beauty utilities that we have available right now. But the question is it the root solution for your skin, beauty and hair concerns that you're looking for? And is there anything deeper that you can do to yourself from the inside that can actually keep you ageless for years? So, and what is this approach? So this is what I'll try explaining in this session also, and this is exactly the same approach that we make you experience, live, and just try it out for yourself and see how powerful this approach is, which is very different from how we look at our beauty in today's times. So starting with the very basic, the kind of skin, beauty, hair concerns that we experience in today's times, it could be quick aging. That's something that's happening to a lot of people at a very, very faster rate. Like, we do not realize, because we are in your earlier years, maybe in your 20s and 30s and 40s, even to some part 40s, but during 40s you start to experience a lot of beauty concerns happening to you, and you're just clueless why is it happening, because it wasn't there in your 30s and 20s. So but if we look at it, aging issues is something that's quite on a rise. Graying hair loss. Then when it comes to skin, it's about wrinkling, pigmentation, loss of glow on the skin, or dull skin. So basically, you do not feel at the best of who you can be. You have that potential, it's all within you. I think I worked really hard on myself in last few years to realize how it works, and it is powerful. I guess it's the only permanent solution that you can work along, which involves you as a whole, which involves your diet, which involves your lifestyle, which is a deep involvement of you first understanding how beauty is created from inside. Secondly, understanding what can you do to create a pattern where you make sure that all these concerns do not become a regular part of you in today or maybe years to come. So talking of all these concerns, back to acne, which generally happens majorly in 20s and teens, and adult acne also is very common, which generally tends to happen in late 30s and 40s. But there is a whole science why this is happening, which we do not realize because we are just looking for these outer solutions. So if I have to just give a crux of what is happening in the beauty scenario right now, how are we looking at ourselves? We are just looking at ourselves from the surface level, the superficial level, the skin level. So something happens to our skin, and say for example it's an acne, or wrinkling starts to happen, or under eye dark circles start to happen. We look at it from a perspective that maybe I need a dermatologist to help me out. Of course, if it is a chronic condition, initially you might need that support, but that's not what will actually alleviate you from all these conditions which are actually happening from inside. So and for these maybe under eye dark circles, we are always on a lookout for that perfect cream or a gel or whatever that can help us deal with our dark circles or pigmentation. For hair, I guess that's the biggest concern ever for almost every woman today. And this is also because we don't realize how our hair is changing from inside. In our earlier years, we are still able to sustain a lot of good hair quality, but as we get into our late 30s, somewhere around 40s, there is a drastic change in the hair quality that is happening. So it is not by chance, and a lot of people just don't understand why is it happening. So it's a lot to do with what is going on inside the body. I'll try talking of all these concepts like as we proceed further. And then coming on to your body and weight. So this is again one of the areas that most of the women are struggling with. Either it is bloating, or it is weight issues, or maybe your appearance issues. And this is not just about body, hair, weight, skin. Of course, we talk of these concepts because we really want to bring about that awareness that we really need to start looking at ourselves from a very deep-rooted perspective, how everything happens from inside. Having said that, it is a very close association or coordination with maybe how your digestion functions, or how your liver functions, or how your kidneys function, or how good your respiratory health is, how good your circulation is. So all these concepts are very, very deeply rooted with how you maintain yourself over years, how maybe in your 40s and 50s, if you really look not just for that skin, hair and body, but also for for that, if you really want to maintain that weight for a weight and ageless, what you say, your energy, vitality, you as a whole, if you really want to maintain that, it's altogether a different approach. It's about starting knowing first how to approach it, living it on a daily basis, and how to start living it on a daily basis. So this is what our program is all about. It's in this 1 week 7 days of beauty cleanse program, you actually experience and understand and live with us how you can make this a part of your lifestyle. Not that in 7 days miracles are going to happen, your skin quality will change. Of course you will see a lot of changes happening, person to person it varies, but what this program is all about is educating you. You take back a lot of learnings and you start incorporating this way of life in your lifestyle. Give yourself a month's time, 2 months time, 3 months time, and then you see gradually how a lot of improvements start to happen in every area of your life. It starts with your skin, starts with your bloating levels, start with your moods getting better, your energy levels getting better, and this is the beginning of beauty changing from within. So this is broadly what the session is all about, and what we are trying to do as a part of our 7-day beauty cleanse program. Okay, so when we say that living for beauty and eating for beauty, or the beauty lifestyle is completely a different approach, what do we mean by that? So if by any chance any one of you has attended any of my previous sessions, I always keep telling that a beautiful, ageless body and mind, it's not just about body, it's body and mind, which means a joyous you, a happy you, a positive you, a radiance, not just shining out through you from your as a part of your persona, but your thoughts and your mind also reflecting what's going on within you, which is a lot of positivity, a lot of aura, a lot of spreading out that happiness and joy factor for yourself and of course for others. This way of life, this way of you is possible only when you are internally clean and you are free flowing from within. So this is the concept that we have always talked about. This is the concept actually that we make you live through the entire program also, but I'll try explaining what this concept is all about. So coming back to how do we look ourselves today, as I told you, it's just about the skin, hair, or surface level, body level. Like for example, I'm gaining these many inches, or my skin is showing, breaking out, it's showing up these signs of acne, bloating, wrinkles, all these signs. And from the hair perspective, my hair is falling out. It's it's early graying is happening to my hair. My nails do not sustain. So all these outer manifestations of your beauty, which are reflective in all these skin, hair, and body forms, are the surface level way of looking at yourself. And this is what we are stuck with today, because this is what we have been told about, or this is the era that we've grown up listening to or understanding how it happens. Now if we get deeper into it, if we just try to understand that what is happening inside, like how are all these issues that we're talking about very deeply related to you at a very deeper level, from from the inside perspective. How if we really have to start understanding that, the some of the concepts that we really need to understand is what is the biology, physiology of beauty. So this is the same physiology, but to be understood now in a way that you start to relate it to your skin conditions, you start to relate it to your hair conditions, your body conditions, weight conditions, your mood conditions, how you feel conditions, everything. So which means if you start to understand the biology of how your systems in coordination function together to keep you ageless for a very long time, then you have tapped on to the science of understanding how you can be ageless for years to come. So this is exactly what we need to go deeper and start to understand, because these are the concepts which will keep you ageless. There is no shortcut. No Botox can stop you from aging faster. No, all these short-term supplementation or whatever the modern world offers to us cannot actually stop all that aging that is happening to you at the deep within. The only permanent solution is when you start to live a beauty diet and lifestyle kind of a pattern. So, okay, so now I'll just try explaining when are you at the peak of your beauty, irrespective of what age you are in, whether in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. What is that state? How do we define that state? That states that that actually reflects out of you, that showing up you as a radiant or a very energetic or a very beautiful kind of a person. It's the state of complete relaxation. So that's the most subtle concept that the way I can describe how beauty happens from inside. Now, very difficult, of course, I understand, to initially understand what this concept is all about. But I'll just try giving you some example. When you sleep good at night, right, and when you wake up in the morning, the kind of glow that you have on the skin, the kind of energy and vitality, the kind of positivity that you carry within yourself, only if you had a very good night's sleep. Not that you were tired and you couldn't sleep. And we are not counting numbers here. This game has nothing to do with the numbers. I'm not saying that when you sleep, say, for 8 hours or 9 hours, and when you wake up, this happens. You don't need to count that numbers. This thing will start to happen to you when you had a very peaceful kind of a sleep. Even if it had been a 4 hours of sleep, even if it is, say, 1 hour of sleep, you had a good nap time in the afternoon, and when you woke up, you were just glowing. You were very positive. Your energy was very high, and you were just radiating all that positivity, and which was reflecting on your skin. You had that shine, that aura, that glow on your face. This is this is reflective of how relaxed you are. So the more you are in a relaxed state of being for day in and day out, is the stage where you will be completely, totally ageless at any age. And this is what actually arrests aging. So this is the deepest, most concept that I can talk about, which is the only permanent concept that has power to arrest all that aging. So just to give you an example, like if you look at all these these yoga gurus, for example, Paramhans Yogananda, if you look at his picture, you cannot just make out what is his age. Maybe it's somewhere around 60s or 60 plus is what I believe. But if you look at his picture, he completely looks as if he is in 20s or 30s. So is it yoga that is working for him, or is it his way of life that is working for him, or is it his knowledge that he understood, like how the entire physiology of inside happens. He had been living that way of life. Is it that for him that is working? Just to summarize, it's of course all of that is working because yogis do understand. So yogic way of life is the most powerful way of life of being ageless for till the time you are there. But having said that, what at the deep rooted level, what they have achieved is they have achieved a very deep state of relaxation. Nothing can come on the way of making them feel disturbed or making them feel sad or worried or go through all these negative emotions. Of course, some part of these emotions do hit us, but you internally develop that capability of dealing with them. You know the approach, what is the best way of dealing with them, and then you also start to understand what is the right approach. Even if such situations happen that take you out of your relaxation phase, what are you supposed to do? This is exactly what you need to understand when it comes to living an ageless lifestyle, and this is what we are going to teach you in the program as well, because this is a very closely coordinated, very deep program, which is not just about diet and lifestyle, not just about eating foods that make you beautiful, not just about doing yogic practices that can actually help you gain some benefit out of for your skin, hair and body, but it is also very deeply rooted into how you can learn to manage your mind, how you can learn to relax your mind, how you can actually learn the tools and strategies that will go a long way in supporting all that anti-aging factor that we're talking about, apart from not just not just from the food and lifestyle perspective, but also taking you as a whole into the picture, taking your diet into consideration, taking how you start your day into consideration, taking your how do you self-care, taking that into consideration, what kind of skincare and self-care products do you use, taking all that into consideration, and then also taking into consideration as a person, what kind of emotions do you carry, can you do anything about it, can you create something different for yourself that when practiced regularly and built as a habit over years can go a long way in changing a lot physiologically and biologically, which is what is happening inside the body. So this is a very body mind kind of a program that we've come up with and designed for this in the 7-day beauty cleanse program. So this is the deepest, most subtlest concept that can be, and this is the state that we keep talking about, which is the high pranic state of you. When you are high on energy, when you are positive in the mind, and your body is very clean on the inside, you are automatically very high on the pranic state of self. And this pranic state of the self is also very correlated to the deep state of relaxation that I just talked about. And when these two come together, you don't need any Botox, you don't need any facelift, you don't need any specific skincare product, you don't need any specific modern day approach to reach your beauty or health goals that you need. It is automatically taken care of, because this is the approach where you have completely aligned yourself to how nature wants you to function. The more you function accordingly, the more you see all those aging factors or health factors or skin, hair, body factors do not even come closer to you. So this is the most subtle most aspect, which is about the high state of prana, or being in a very deep state of relaxation. The next concept, which is not the subtlemost but in the middle, which is this little subtler concept, which again not very easy to understand initially, but when you start living it, you actually start to realize how this is working. So this is the second concept that I just told you, clean state of beauty, clean state of body from inside, right? So what do I mean by clean state of body and mind from inside? So just okay, so just look at a newborn baby. This is my favorite example. You will see this, I talking of this in all my sessions, because I don't have a bigger example than this. A newborn baby is completely toxin free, is free. So I'm sure you haven't seen any baby born with an acne, or born with pigmentation, or born with all that excess weight or hair falling out, or the baby is completely radiant. If you try to understand the science or the psychology, what is it that makes the baby completely radiant? It's something like a very readily not readily, a very new package just entered, which is very new, which is very complete and clean from inside, and which is very free flowing. For example, a baby, if they have to cry, they will cry. If they have to smile, they will smile. So there are no rules and regulations for them, and they live by what their by what their intuition tells them or what they know. So they are not bothered where are they or who are they in front of, or they have to present themselves. So which means they are completely in a state of deep relaxation, and that's why they are just projecting themselves the way they are always, and which also means they are always in a very high pranic state, and which is very much visible in how translucent their skin quality is, how high their energy level is, and how happy and joyous they are. Babies do not have this tendency of getting angry or sad or all these negative emotions. So this is one of the most prominent examples that you can keep in front of yourself, that how clean and free flowing you from the inside is the ultimate state, which ultimately converts or boils down to how how important it is to be free flowing and clean from the inside, and that's the secret to agelessness also. So but what exactly do we mean by free flowing is what we need to understand here. So we have a lot of fluids moving on inside our body, right? We have a lot of solids going inside the body and working in a specific way where our body is functioning to extract, for example, if it is foods, our body is functioning hard to extract all those nutrients out of those foods, and then whatever. So this is the solid part of what goes in and what is moving inside. Then when you're consuming a lot of liquids, it's the liquid part of you that's working within you. And then when it is about the subtle part, it is the air or the breath that we talk about, which is going in and working within you to create that to kind of help you inside to be in a very high pranic state. So when the blockages start to happen at any of these three levels of vital forces that enter our body, whether it be liquids, whether it be solids, or whether it be gases in the form of breathing that we do. If there are any blockages, for example, if you look at your lungs, and if you suffer a lot from cold, flu or sinus kind of issues, or if you have blocked respiratory tract, you automatically feel and I'm just giving you a clue. Maybe if you know somebody in your area, you can look at it for yourself and you'll realize what I'm saying. For the people who have very weak lung conditions, you will see they might start developing very hollow cheek. The face starts to sink down. It's more of a sunken face that they have, and specifically in their cheekbone area, upper cheekbone area, it starts to go hollow, and a lot of darkening starts to happen in this specific area. Now, what do these people do then? A lot of women who suffer from all these conditions ultimately start to use a lot of camouflaging kind of activities, applying a lot of makeup or looking for these skin creams and solutions, and even for the ones who are looking for better solutions, considering they are better solutions, looking for maybe a laser or any under the knife kind of procedures. Is that the solution? It is not. Why? Because all that sunken feeling, all that darkening on the skin is happening because your lungs are clogged, and that clogging starts to show up on your face and your body everywhere. Similarly, if you are constipated, if your digestion is not functioning right, the manifestation of acne on your skin is a direct indicator that you're somewhere at the the solids are blocked within your body, and these solids are blocked either at the stomach level, your digestion is not right, or they are blocked at the processing level. Maybe the liver is not processing the wastes right, or it is getting blocked at the absorption level. Maybe your small intestine is not functioning well, or maybe you may be suffering from conditions like SIBO, which is like small intestinal bacterial growth. You have a lot of bad bacteria moving in your stomach, and then it could be either also the stagnation could be either because of these clogged colon. So maybe you are not clearing out your bowels well, and all those toxins which are inside your body cannot function right in a clogged environment. So that is the key. If there is any clogging happening at the solid, liquid or gaseous level, all these cloggings, the body will start to push it at the periphery so that the vital systems do not suffer. as a part of that, all these toxins that we're talking about, whether it be gaseous toxins or the liquid toxins or the solid toxins, start to get pushed into the subtler part of the body, which are not very active. So for example, these start to get building up in your fat cells or in your muscles, or so these are not the active vital parts of the body that are very much required for your vital survival on a daily basis. What is important for the survival on a daily basis is your good digestion, is your heart functioning, is your kidney functioning so that you eliminate out waste, is your lung functioning because so that you have enough oxygen going in, that helps and helps with other physiological processes that are happening inside the body. So when you look at yourself and your beauty from a very physiological and biological perspective, you realize that whatever efforts are we doing or whatever we know from the modern day perspective, it is a very, very superficial way of looking at yourself or working on yourself. And when you delve deeper into it, so subtle part is, as I just told you, it's about free flow of the body. Liquids, gases and solids should move very freely inside the body, and this is what we know from the body perspective. When it comes to mind, your body has to be equally free flowing, your mind has to be equally free flowing, which means it has to be a free flow of emotions. If you go through any kind of negative emotions, there has to be a free flow or a vent out that flows out the flow of that negative emotion that just hit you. It should not be clogged, it should not be within you for years to come, and you becoming, say for example, if there is some kind of a sadness and you keep carrying it for years and years and years, it starts to create blockages, because emotions, there's something which a term that it doesn't exist, but this is what we've derived understanding all these concepts. There's this concept of folds of emotions. For example, some kind of wrinkling on your face, or some kind of bulges on your anywhere on the body, depending what area of the body these bulges are. Quite possible it is also very deeply related to specific kind of emotions that you've been carrying through. For example, if you're carrying the emotion of anger for a very long time, and if you're an angry person, every other thing makes you get into that fit of anger. Ultimately it starts to impact your liver very strongly. So if you're leading a very good dietary and lifestyle pattern, but mind wise, if you're a very angry kind of a person, your liver is still impacted. Now the impact of liver, the folds of emotion of the liver will start to show up under your eyes as under eye bags, or if your kidneys are not eliminating the liquids properly, or there's a lot of stagnation, liquid stagnation inside the body, the kidneys will start to the kidney functioning will start to go a little low, and that accumulation, because your body will start holding a lot of excess water which should ideally be out, this will start to show up as bloating and excess inch gain, which may not be necessarily fat. It may be all that gases making you look fatter, or it could be all those liquids making you feel a little bloated. And then when the energy rises above and it goes on the upper side of you, which is also the science of chakras, where the energy traverses upwards, and this energy, when traverses upwards, all this energy starts to show up on your face in the form of these baggy eyes or under eye dark circles. And even when this energy traverses even higher up, it starts to show up in your emotions, it starts to show up in your how you feel, your emotions getting even worse than what it has been. So, and it becomes a vicious cycle. Like, you don't find a way out ever to break that cycle, because it starts from the body or it starts from the mind. Wherever it starts from, it impacts these organ functioning. It creates some cloggings or stagnation inside. That stagnation as an energy, when it rises up, it starts to show up on your face. Upper still, it starts to show up in your mind and your how you feel. And that is a cycle that each one of us goes through. This is what ultimately converts into wrinkling, aging skin, that charm losing, you losing that charm, that radiance going out. It starts to show up everywhere. All these folds of emotions start to show up everywhere on your body and face. So this is again the subtle concept, driven from if you are not free flowing from inside, also at the mind level, also at the emotion level, and also at the physical level, and your body is clogged from inside, is where all that starts to show up on your body and mind. If you're in your earlier years, initially there is a possibility that all these signs you may not be aware of, they may not start to happen. But as soon as you start to hit your later years, like maybe somewhere around your 30s or late 30s and even 40s, is where a lot of women start to see some weird changes happening to your beauty, to their beauty and to their skin, to their weight, which wasn't there in your early years. And I come across a lot of women when I counsel them or I go through these dietary and lifestyle consultations. A lot of women in their 40s come and tell me that maybe 5 years, until 5 years back, things were working really well for me. The kind of exercising regime that I was following was giving me amazing results. Now it is not giving, and this is one of the biggest myths, because it becomes very difficult for me also to kind of talk of all these concepts and counsel people on these concepts, because these are very deep rooted concepts. You really need to understand. You have to work on yourself continuously. It is not a one-time project like once a spa kind of a way of life. It is a way of life every single day, from the time you wake up in the morning till the time you go off to bed. What do you do? How do you decide to live your life? How when you wake up in the morning, what are the activities that you choose to do? When it comes to breakfast, what is it that you choose to put in your mouth? Depending the solid concepts. And it's not just about, because I know that fruits and vegetables are good for me, I start going eating onto that. Of course, it's not going to do you any harm. It'll help you only. But is there an approach that I can understand, even from these good foods perspective, that I can start applying, that start to make a difference to how I look and feel, and can make me ageless for years to come? So these are the concepts that you really need to join together, bind together, start to live, experience, and keep living it. Like, just keep faith and keep living it. Give yourself some time. Maybe start with 15 days. You will see some changes. Then go on to maybe 1 month, and you will see further some changes happening. And gradually you will see, because a lot of physiologically the cleaning will start to happen. That free flow will start to open up. This is where you will start to see your pranic forces will start to rise up. You will start to see a lot of energetic changes happening. You feeling much more energetic, vital, your skin quality getting better, your bowel quality getting better, your internal beauty systems. Of course, these are the same systems which we all have studied in science as biology systems. But as far as we also call them the beauty systems. Again, the whole idea is helping you understand that all these concepts of health that we've learned are very deeply related to how we look and feel also, and that's the reason we call them beauty systems also. So this is the subtle concept. Now if we come to the physical concept, I guess this is the concept that we all can very directly relate to. This is the concept that I think you'll be able to relate to what I'm trying to explain. But I wanted to explain the subtler concepts first, because ultimately whatever happens at the physical level is what goes and impacts the subtle level, and is what that goes and impacts the most subtlest aspect of you, which is the deep state of relaxation. So what is happening at the physical level that ultimately starts to culminate into all these beauty concerns and conditions that we've just tried to understand. So from the physical perspective, I'll repeat, the whole idea is your body and mind should be free flowing. It should be clean from inside. So if you can really grasp the idea of these two concepts and start living by, start to think beyond fats. Don't go by, because I might be low on protein if I don't consume this much of a protein, or my carb intake is more because the kind of foods that I'm consuming have more carbs. You really have to go beyond all this and start to actually experience how do you feel, what is it that's going on within you, and be a little intuitive, trying to understand. For example, again, as a part of my experience in my consultation practice, a lot of women feel a lot of bloating and acidic issues as soon as they have maybe some protein supplement or a high on protein kind of a diet, and they are just not ready to change it. Because there's a the way modern way of looking at ourselves has taught us that protein, you just need to keep those reserves of protein going in and in and in. Now what happens is, because that mindset is already set in there, we just don't want to think that there could be some negative impact of protein also making us feel a specific way. And these are the women who come and complain about, of course, they might be gymming and some part of muscle building definitely may be happening, but apart from that, what are the other things that they're facing which are negative on part of consuming extra protein? So some of the concerns could be their uric acid levels may be high. They may feel very highly gastric, very highly acidic. Still they will keep eating that high quantity of protein that we that is again becoming one of the root causes of those feelings that may be going through. So it's a whole cycle that you need to understand what is it. Of course, protein is important. I'm not denying that. It is very important. It is one of the most important nutrients much required for your skin, hair quality, and to maintain your weight. But what is the kind of right protein that you're supposed to consume? How much is it that you're supposed to consume? What is the right way that you're supposed to consume is where the secret or the clue lies to incorporating it right, and also incorporating it in a way that becomes more absorbable, more positive for your body to react in a very positive way. And this is where actually the changes start to happen. This is where that protein actually starts to become you. It starts to get absorbed in a nice way. This is where it starts to pass on to the hair follicles, to your skin quality. This is where the changes start to happen from inside. So physically, now if we look at it, as I just told you, clean and free flowing you from inside, this is very deeply relative or related to how your beauty systems are functioning from inside. Now, what are these beauty systems? I would highly recommend for the ones who are listening to us for the first time, please go and try listening to our Swarasa YouTube channel, because very deeply we've covered what these beauty systems are all about. There are some Insta lives, recordings also available on our Instagram page, where also we've tried covering these these beauty systems concept. This is where you actually start to understand how your these biological systems are actually participating very deeply to make you make you ageless for a very long time. And what is the difference between the ones who are able to live through their youth in their later years also, versus the ones who start to age very quickly even if they are in their 20s or 30s. But if I have to just name quickly the beauty systems that I'm just talking about, so your circulatory system, which involves your blood quality, your heart, is one of the most potent beauty systems inside the body, and which means your blood quality has to be really, really pure. This is the factor that will give you all that glow, that rosiness on your skin and your face, that vibrance, that vitality. So your blood quality is the key. When you talk of blood quality, now how do we improve upon that? So now when you work on the blood quality, your diet has to be in a way very clean, so that you're not adding a lot of toxins which are getting mixed into your blood. If your blood starts to become toxic, it becomes stagnant. And as I've just told you, stagnant body, whether it be at the blood level, at the elimination level, at the lung level, is where you will start to see a lot of such concerns starting to happen to your skin going bad, your hair going bad, your bloating, never-ending bloating, just being friends with you forever, or your weight not going away. So circulatory system is very, very, very important system for your beauty, and that's the reason why exercise is so important. And if I just have to give you a clue, just for the ones who are into exercising, you can just see when you do a good workout, or you go out for a run, or you do a good yoga practice where you sweat out, immediately you're just glowing. Why? Because your circulation immediately goes up. So circulation, one of the most important systems that can really make you glow from inside out, and also make you ageless for years to come. Then your respiratory system, which is your lung conditions. How do you breathe? What is your breathing pattern? That's again very, very, very important, because circulation doesn't only work with blood. Circulation works with oxygen and blood together. This is what gives you the radiance from the inside. Then your digestive system, again a very, very potent beauty system. This is where the actually beauty starts to manifest, simply because whatever you're consuming, the kind of foods that you're consuming, this is the system that is extracting all of that and ultimately passing it on to the right channels, from where all that glow, all that radiance starts to shine through, from where if you have any cloggings or blockages, if your diet is really high on fiber, is where you start to open up your channels, you start to open up the cloggings that are happening inside. How do we incorporate it? Of course, it is something to be understood, learned, and done the right way, and this is what we intend to do in our 7 days beauty cleanse program. I'll talk of the program later, how you can access it and where you can find it out. Now the next beauty system is your lymphatic system. Now this is the system that nobody is talking about, nobody is even aware of it. This is one system. If all the systems in your body are functioning fine, and if your lymphatic system is not right, is the first system that will start to give you a lot of immunity issues. You will start to have weak immunity, which will start to show up in a lot of cloggings. For example, A state of high mucus inside the body is nothing but clogging. A state of high constipated state inside the body is nothing but clogging at the solid level. Then all that water retention or edema kind of conditions is nothing but a state of clogging of water inside the body. It's something like excess water getting into your tissues, making you feel bloated and making you feel very weird, like feel weird. Your skin feels unnecessarily watery and bloated. It's like, it's a very weird kind of a look that you carry if you have water, excess water if you're carrying excess water in the body. So lymphatic system is the system that if it is not functioning fine, or if it is not right, ultimately this is the system where you start to accumulate a lot of bloating kind of issues, a lot of water retention kind of issues, and then you keep doing anything. You look out for perfect food, or you look out for perfect exercising pattern. This water retention doesn't go away very easily, simply because your lymphatics is something that you're not working on. There is a specific approach. Again, how do you work on lymphatic system when you work on all these beauty systems all together? This is again one approach that we'll be teaching you and making you live in the 7-day beauty cleanse program that we've just launched at Swarasya. Then your elimination systems, very important. As I just told you, clean and free flowing body is a beautiful and ageless body. So if your elimination system, what is your elimination system? It is your bowels, it is your bladder, it is your skin. It's one of the most potent cleansing elimination system. How? Your skin releases sweat, your skin releases excess oils, your skin breathes, your skin is an organ in itself. It has its own functions to do. So if that elimination through the skin is not happening, you keep applying the best skincare product, you will just be stuck in that vicious cycle of finding that best product, switching brand to brand to brand, but that what you're seeking or looking for will never ever come from within you. Why? Because these beauty systems, from where the beauty actually originates, are not in their proper shape, and you have to really work on the approach where you start to make these systems work and function in a way so that these start to become free flowing, these start to become clean. And this is where you will see you will not need any spa treatment, any dermatology solution, any specific Botox treatments. If you actually start focusing on strengthening or working on these beauty systems that we are just talking about. So it is a very inside way of creating yourself from inside. And then your muscular system, of course, we know, gymming is a big craze. A lot of not just women, like, it's a craze both with men and women. But why? Because muscles is what gives you a specific appearance. It gives you all that what do you call that, attractiveness. That attractiveness is nothing but muscles, and that's the reason there's a huge lot of focus on protein, specifically for the people who understand that muscles is what gives you your appearance. Somebody who's very lean and thin doesn't have good muscle mass is somebody that you don't find very attractive, right? So muscular system is a beauty system, but how do you work on it? Again, there's a specific way. Gymming is one of the ways, but why gymming is not the ideal way is what we'll be teaching you in the 7 days program, and why yoga can be the ultimate way to build up your muscles slowly, gradually, where you don't tax and tire your system. When you do a lot of over excessive gymming activities, the relaxation factor, you remember I just talked about what is the subtle most aspect of beauty that you can create for yourself. It is a relaxed state of being. So when you're working, of course your muscles are building, but your body is getting into an overdrive of not being relaxed, and when you're not relaxed, do whatever, ultimately your aging will be way more quicker and faster. So that's the reason when you learn to understand how do I balance it the right way, I also work on my muscles, but I also work on the relaxation factor, which is only possible through yogic practices and yogic way of life. You will realize you get the best of both worlds. So then your subtle systems that play a huge role in how you look and feel, and how your skin or body or hair shapes up in later years, or as you know, at whatever stage you are in right now, has a lot to do with at the subtle level. I mean, you may not immediately feel the impact of what I'm saying right now, but we'll educate you on how this happens, and slowly you will start associating how you'll actually be able to self-reflect what we are telling you right now, and what we teach you in the program also, how your nervous system and hormonal system is the subtle most key. If you learn to manage, if you learn to be with your nervous system, if you learn to be with to live in harmony with your hormonal system, ultimately you will realize you've tapped onto the key of anti-aging. no cream, no Botox solution, no modern treatment, nothing. Everything is way more temporary than this idea of beauty that I'm just talking about, and it boils down to the idea of your nervous system and your hormones is in balance. The beauty of these two systems is that if your hormones are in balance, your nervous system is automatically in balance, and if your nervous system is in balance, your hormones are automatically in balance. So these very closely, they work very closely. They're very closely coordinated when it comes to functioning together. But the kind of lifestyle and the kind of diet we have today is highly taxing on these two systems. The kind of, for example, sugars, for example, dairy are the foods which are very, very taxing on all these beauty systems that I've just discussed. Specifically, sugars and dairy are very taxing on your respiratory system, which is one of the, again, as I told you, one of the most important beauty systems that creates that radiance from within. Then all these packaged foods, all these and when it comes to cooking styles, all these specific cooking styles that you may be going through, eating a lot of fried food, eating a lot of processed and refined food, eating a lot of modern Indian way of cooking foods. I'm not saying the ancient Indian cooking way of cooking foods. Ancient Indian is something like Ayurveda way, which is very powerfully anti-aging. What I'm talking about is the modern way of cooking your foods, which is very much coming into picture and being driven by shying away from being into the kitchen, preparing our own meals, and mostly getting into these cooks who are actually not cooks, who maybe are domestic helps, leaving kitchen all up to them, and they're doing anything and everything, cooking foods in a way that are becoming much more free radical creating, which even if they are the best foods, you may be thinking that you're consuming a huge lot of fruits and vegetables, but the way these may be being cooked either by you or by any of the domestic help that you may be having, ultimately maybe converting all those good foods into bad foods, creating a lot of clogging, a lot of free radical damage, a lot of cellular damage happening to you. So even those good foods might become bad foods if they are not cooked right. And what are the right techniques of cooking, ways of cooking that support your beauty from inside out is also what we are going to talk about and teach you in the 7 days of beauty cleanse program. So this was all about how you're supposed to look at yourself from the inside out. Now I'll talk a little bit about the program that we are doing, which is a 7-day beauty cleanse program. Very, very powerful program. Rather, the name we wanted to keep for this program was 7 days beauty inside out cleanse program, but the name was really bigger, so we had to really cut down onto the inside out part of it. But that is the key, because this is the program where we make you live from the inside out, so we'll be with you through the journey, and you will be having a community support with others doing this program with you. We'll be creating a platform where you can be in touch with us and the community and share your experiences and also learn along with them. So implementing all of this becomes really easier when you have support, of course, from us and from the community or your peer group who's also participating for the same goal or purpose that you are in there for. The 7-day beauty cleanse program is based on the 5 dimensions of beauty that I always keep talking about. So if any one of you is new to this concept and listening to me for the first time, please look at our YouTube Swarasya channel, where we've covered all these concepts in detail. Please look into the playlist which talks about 5 dimensions of beauty. We have separate sessions on all these 5 dimensions, which is nourish, which is body work, which is emotions, self-realization, and energy. So we talk of beauty from these 5 different perspectives, and in these 5 different perspectives, skincare is just a fraction part of body work dimension that I've just talked about. So imagine 20% we spend our entire life working on this, maybe 10 or 20% that actually makes a difference when it comes to your beauty, skin, hair and body. 80%, 85% you are just not aware what goes on, how to approach it right, what to do. Do foods make a difference? Does cooking make a difference? Does exercise make a difference? Does lifestyle make a difference? Does self-care make a difference? Do emotions make a difference? Does my own connect with myself make a difference? Does my energy levels make a difference? So all these are very deep-rooted concepts that are all a part of this program, where you live it. You don't understand it. Of course, a lot of understanding and knowledge sharing we keep doing through our sessions, and this is also one of the knowledge sessions. you are maybe picking up the concepts, grasping the concepts, but how to actually live this, how to actually incorporate it as a part of your lifestyle, right from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go off to sleep, and everything in between, and also understanding what is it that is working, what are the concepts that are being implemented when you are designing your diet and lifestyle, this beauty way of eating and living. And gradually, when you keep living it, ultimately you realize there is no powerful way than this, and it is not a fad. It is actually absolutely not a fad. This is the actual state of what your body is going on from inside, understanding that, and behaving or acting or helping your body behave a certain way by understanding all these concepts. So when you get deeper to those concepts, then all those fads actually do not make a difference. All these, the calorie fad, or a protein fad, or a keto fad, or any kind of specific fad way of eating and living is a very, very superficial way. This is like, it has been my personal experience. I have been living this lifestyle for last 10 years, being educated into all these ancient modalities of yoga, Ayurveda, macrobiotics, traditional Chinese medicine. This approach has been driven from the most oldest ancient sciences, which understood humans not as a biological machine. They did not understand as a chemical or a biological machine working on day and night on chemicals, but they understood humans as energetic beings, as spiritual beings, as the beings that really reflect out who they are, whether it be your by following your purpose or your goals. And what comes as a supportive factor is everything: your diet, your lifestyle, your self-care aspect, your the kind of exercise regimes that you choose for yourself. So everything is a part of this program, where in 7 days you will actually experience what we keep educating you all about. So okay, so how is the program divided? So I've just kept this understanding of this 7-day beauty cleanse program in a way so that all your queries are answered, because we got a lot of queries from you and trying to understand, is it a diet program, or is it a yoga program, or what kind of program is it? So I'll just try delving deeper into the 5 dimensions that I've just talked about, and try to explain how are we going to incorporate these all these concepts as a part of these 5 dimensions that we're talking about. So now again, before I move on, I would just want to highlight, this is the same approach that I have been following for a decade, almost a decade, since when I started learning and studying and experimenting all these things. And I have been into a lifestyle pattern where you may be right now. Like, I had been a very strong skincare junkie. I mean, there used to be no product, skincare product or a health food product that I haven't tried. I was too much into all these protein things and skincare products. And of course, I was not much into gymming, because that's not something that I very directly resonate with. I have always been a very yoga kind of a person. But apart from that, I haven't left anything when it comes to diet, and it's there since childhood. I mean, I guess I was intuitively blessed to try and experiment all these things. But over time, as I got educated and I studied all these ancient modalities, I realized the approach is so very different from how we are living today. It is nothing to do with calories, nothing to do with those counted proteins, nothing to do with mindless gymming, nothing to do with those specific short term or fad ways of life that keep coming across our way every single day through some research or through some through media. So this approach is highly about getting within yourself from the outside to inside, which means the 5 dimensions that I just talked about, which is nourish, which is a concept that is out of you. Nourish is a concept which is all about what do you take in from the outside that becomes a part of you and ultimately works within you. So nourish is all about what do you choose to eat through the day, how do you start your day, how do you consume foods in a way that becomes anti-aging for you rather than becoming aging for you. For example, if I look at Indian lifestyles today, Indian ways of life are a lot of Indian women and men are very highly hooked to the concept of bed tea, and specifically milk tea. Now this is one small aspect that you really need to understand, that a small difference between starting your day with a cup of tea and starting your day with a glass of juice or a smoothie is so powerful that even if you don't bring about any changes, just start to follow this in the morning every single day. Be with it for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. You realize a lot of changes starting to happen within you. So just a small little change in how you decide to, choose your foods and live it through the day, and how you choose to pick up the foods that you really want to put in your mouth early in the morning, can ultimately decide how you age over years, how your skin will look over years. Too much consumption of tea over years will start to make you look very, very dull, will start to make you feel very, very dull. I mean, you will become highly dependent on these stimulants to give you a push, but that push would be just for a short term, so that you can do some active work in hand, and then you'll be tired back again, and then you look for another push, then you try to reach out for a coffee, and this is how you start to push your energy. But this is not the right way of pushing your energy, because you are unnecessarily playing around with these beauty systems which are supposed to give you all that radiance. Now these beauty systems are working against you to give you all that dullness and darkness that you may be going through. So in the program under this Nourish dimension, we will be teaching you the concepts that are really the root concepts when it comes to beauty inside out. You will be understanding the whys of why we are doing it. It's not just about diet plan. We are not going to give you only a diet plan. Of course, we'll be sharing the diet plan and recipes with you, but this is about educating you, starting from the point you wake up in the morning, what do you consume, to the time what you consume at night, and how is it changing you from within, what are those concepts being implemented there. And when you become empowered with all those concepts, you have all the flexibility beyond fads, beyond anybody coming and telling you. You are yourself empowered to understand, okay, once I'm done with this program, what is it that I need to do with myself to sustain this way of life? What is it that can actually make a difference to my entire beauty, skin, hair, health, vitality, energy, when I start bringing all these concepts together? So this is all that we'll be covering in the Nourish dimension, and this is way more powerful. Like this is one way of understanding foods, eating, and which drastically changed my entire persona. Not just about the physical part of me, but my mind changed, my thoughts changed, the way I look at things, the perspective, everything changed. So foods are energy. You have to start looking at things from energetic perspective. This is what we'll try to teach you in the program. So this is from the Nourish perspective. The second dimension that I talked about is body work. Now, what is body work? For a lot of us, from the body work perspective, we would want to understand it from the exercise perspective. We take you a little deeper. So and that's the reason we've incorporated the yogic practices, 7 days of yoga program, along with this entire 7-day beauty cleanse program. What are we trying to do? So when you start your program, and when we start doing these yogic practices, we are trying to stimulate these beauty systems. We are, at the very first place, we are starting your cleanse process, your free flow process, not with the foods, but with the with specific yogic practices that open up your system, that open up your digestion, that create that free flow from within. And when you start working on those foods with an open system, is where you start to create a lot of unclogging within your body. This unclogging, followed day after day, week after week, month after month, you will realize how beautifully everything starts to change within, without you getting entangled into all those fad concepts. Somebody coming and telling you try keto, somebody coming and telling you try calorie stuff or a protein stuff or all that stuff. It's all a fad. I mean, this is a very, very deep-rooted aspect of way of looking at yourself, how things will beautifully start to change within, because these beauty systems are changing. When these systems are changing, your entire health is changing. So it's everything combined together, health and beauty, everything coming on a common platform, because you're creating a clean environment inside, and you're creating that free flow from the inside. So body work is all about stimulating these systems. Our morning sessions are more going to be about active yogic practices, which is creating that clean, working on some practices which help you clean from inside, and which create that active, you don't need to actually head towards a tea or coffee to create that stimulation within to start your day. You will be energized enough with these practices. You would not need any more of that tea and coffee to stimulate you from the inside. So why? Because from material perspective, of course, we look at things at coffee as coffee, or tea as tea, or exercise as exercise, but I'm not looking at all these aspects as material things. I'm looking at it from the energy perspective. Now, this is one concept that we'll explain you in the program when you join us, because this is a little deep rooted concept, and once you start understanding it, you will start to relate to what I'm trying to explain here. And then so body work is also about self-care. Now, these self-care practices is about, of course, how do you take care of your skin. When you understand all these self-care concepts, you don't anymore need all those fad brand to brand, product to product kind of hopping to figure out what is that best product that will suit you. You just need some good organic natural skincare products. That's all that your skin or hair needs. Rest of it is all inside work, if I really have to be very honest and true about how skin and beauty and health works from the inside. So, and we'll also be as a part of self-care and skincare, we'll also be covering the approach. So it's all a practical way of living. It's, of course, education is a part of it, but education sessions we cover all of it in on a weekend. Rest of 5 days you will actually be living and experiencing all this with us. We'll give you a pattern which you're supposed to follow and just keep following it, and by the end of 7 days you will see some changes happening to you. Keep living this way of life for weeks and months, and you realize how beautifully everything just starts to just transform within you. So that's the second part of beauty dimension at Swarasya. The third dimension, which is emotions, of course, emotions do not change in a day. I do understand, but the whole idea is, do we actually understand how emotions hit us? Do we actually understand, are there any practical tools or ways that we can learn to vent out these emotions? I'll go back to my previous concept. As I told you, free flowing body and mind is a beautiful and ageless mind. So is there something that we can create, that free flow at the mind level, at the emotional level, that can help us vent out what is there inside our body and mind? When you start to open up this channel at the mind level, of course at the body level we are doing enough through nourish and body work dimension, but when we start doing it also at the emotion level, incorporating these tools and practices that help you vent out your emotions, you will gradually realize how lighter you feel. All those cravings will start to go away. All that positivity, joyousness, all these positive factors will automatically start to develop within you. And this is again not a fad. This is something that I've lived over years. It's my personal experience of 10 years where following this 5-dimensional approach, which actually we originated few months back, but this is how, because I've lived this way of life, we could actually come up with this concept of 5 dimensions of beauty and how so powerful it is. So we'll be teaching you some tools. We'll also be giving you a community support, and once you're done with the program, you can very well be a part of this community for a very long time. We'll be there, of course, answering your questions. So it'll be in an ongoing kind of a community where you come and learn and you keep living in whatever your concerns are. If you want to be associated with the same group of people and with us, trying to get deeper into all these concepts, because this is just going to be your beginning into this beautiful world of how to live ageless. There is so much into it. So being a part of this community, you can actually be with us for a very long time and just keep enhancing your knowledge and incorporating all these things, and gradually see how things start to change for you. And the last concept of this 5-dimensional concept that will make you experience is your energy. So energy, for me to explain at a material level, very difficult. Of course, energy is something that we feel, we do not see, we do not touch. But again, I'll go back to this concept that I just told you about, which is when I started my session, again I'll repeat, I mentioned that a deeply relaxed state of you is the most highly anti-aging way of life. And this is what the example that I gave you of a lot of yoga gurus who live that way. Swami Shivananda, look at Paramahansa Yogananda. All these gurus have actually worked on creating an internal environment with these systems, which has created an environment of deep relaxation within your body. And this deep relaxation is the key to your health, key to your maintaining these beauty systems from inside, which are also your biological systems, which also means that what I'm saying is equally applicable to your health, equally in the same way the way it is applicable to your beauty. But since our idea, as I just mentioned, we really want to change the perception among women that grow up, start to relate to yourself in a very different way, because this is actually the literal way of looking at you. So that's why I just keep relating it to beauty, but it's the deepest, most concept associated with your health also. So if you think you would want to be a part of this program, just don't think that it's a beauty program. It's equally a very powerful health program as well, where we've joined all these concepts of foods, you as a whole, your exercise, lifestyle practices, your self-care practices, your skincare practices, your managing your emotions, experiencing your energy, and realizing how and why energy is the deepest, most concept that you can ever come across. And how all of this comes together practically when it comes to living this lifestyle is what we will make you will help you live or understand or experience. So this is one of the most potentially powerful program that I can tell you can ever come across, simply because it works on all dimensions of you, and it works on those food concepts which in India, I guess, are very new. A lot internationally, a lot of people specifically in the yogic and Ayurvedic community have actually started realizing and working on these concepts. But in India, this concept is very, very new. A lot of people are just not aware. We are still stuck into that short-term mentality, short-time mentality of calories, proteins, and fats and all that. But so yeah, I guess this is all. I just wanted to talk about, what is this concept all about, and what are we trying to cover, make you help live and understand through this concept through our 7 days beauty cleanse program. If you would want to know more about it, you can just message us or reach out to us through any channel, through Instagram, through email, or you can also message us on our business WhatsApp number. How you can access the program, the landing page link is available on the Linktree link in the bio, so you can just go through and check out the program link there, and just feel free to reach out to us if you have any concerns and queries. I think we're already shooted over time, but I'll be happy to take up any 2 or 3 quick questions if you may have. So I'll just be there live for another 2 minutes. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask me anything about the program. Only I'll be answering the questions here, because otherwise the spread gets really broader, which which is altogether a different session that I'll have to take. So okay, so if there are any questions, just please drop the questions, or else I think we can just wind up the session. And I really look forward, to have you there in the program. I'm sure once you attend it, once you be a part of it, this is something that you will actually is going to be a lifetime learning for you. So I highly encourage and invite you to be a part of the program. And thank you so much for listening to me and being with us for this live session. Thank you so much.